Good morning, everyone. So I'm Dr. C.P. Lohit, Faculty Coordinator of Siddhaganga TBI. So we are there for our today's webinar series 2.0. So actually we have conducted a webinar series of around 6 webinars during the first phase. And now this webinar series is entirely dedicated for our alumni entrepreneurs. So Siddhaganga Institute of Technology has got a good alumni network, and most of the alumni have become entrepreneurs as well. And this webinar is dedicated for them. So I welcome WAVE, Mr. Gaganjit Singh, Associate Sales and Customer Success. It is an official alumni engagement partner of SIT. So it is a big task they have taken to connect our alumni. So for this event, and I welcome Sri Jayashil Adappa, so Chief Executive Officer, Usha Armour Private Limited. He is a proud alumnus of our institute, and he graduated from mechanical engineering in the 1982 batch. So I thank Mr. Jayashil Adappa. In spite of his busy schedule, he is there with us to address our students and alumni partners, and as well as other participants to motivate them to think of startup as a career option. And also I welcome Dr. R. Suresh, Professor of Mechanical Engineering, and also Secretary for our SIT Alumni Association. So now I request Mr. Gaganjit Singh to introduce our today's eminent speaker, Mr. Jayashil Adappa.
Thank you, Dr. Lohit, for a warm welcome. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. I'm Gaganjit Singh from WAV, and I welcome you all to webinar Startup Challenges into Opportunities. I'm honored to introduce today's speaker, Mr. Jayashil Adappa, an eminent alumnus of Siddhaganga Institute of Technology from class of 1982 Mechanical. After passing out in 1982, Mr. Adappa started his journey as design and marketing engineer at Messrs. Steel Ages Industries Limited. And after serving the company for 5 years, in 1987, Mr. Adappa started his entrepreneurial journey and found Messrs. Usha Sales Corporation at Chennai in 1987, dealing with manufacturing of anchor fasteners. While climbing the ladder of success, in 1991, Mr. Adappa found Messrs. Usha Armour Private Limited at Bengaluru, manufacturing fire safety equipments. And we are astonished to learn that his journey didn't end here with starting only 2 companies, but there was a series of companies lined up, from starting Messrs. When It Strikes Crisis Management Private Limited at Bengaluru in 1993, dealing with basic fire safety, basic life support and evacuation drill, along with training and fire safety auditing company, to heading Messrs. Resgado Industries Private Limited at Bengaluru in 2015, which deals with manufacturing of life-saving products for high-rise buildings. All these companies specializes in fire safety and life-saving equipments for high-rise buildings. Mr. Adappa is also director at Messrs. Usha Fire Safety Equipments Private Limited, and we are proud to share that all of his companies are actively operating in India's metro cities, and they are also exporting equipments to Gulf countries. Bill Ford rightly said, while the challenges are great, so are the opportunities. And without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Jayashil Adappa to guide young entrepreneurs with today's webinar on Startup Challenges into Opportunities. Sir, the platform is all yours.
Yes. Thank you, Gaganjit, for that introduction, and thank you, Dr. Lohit and Dr. Suresh, for calling me for this particular event. Can I, the host has highlight, it says unmute myself, and can I do that?
So you're audible?
I am audible.
So very much. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
So you can please go ahead.
There is, yes. Yeah, I was clear. Something was coming on the face there. All right, good. So thank you for this wonderful opportunity. And it's a nice thing, good thing what you're all doing. And India has done extremely well in the software industry from last about 25 years. Extremely good all across, and a lot of exports are happening, and most of the MNC companies are dependent on Indian software technology. But then where China did well is from the point of manufacturing. So now this is the next 10 years is for us to make that second manufacturing revolution where India has to become the world manufacturing hub, better than China. So in that context, whatever you're organizing is good, and also for this particular batch. So let me take a small little PPT, and I will run through this. Yeah, I hope it is visible to all the people out there.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. So this program will run for about 30-35 minutes, and then in the end, probably we can have a bit of questions and answers and things like that. So I dedicate this program for all the batch 2020. Now this batch is a very interesting batch. Batch 2020 in this century of 100 years. Batch 2020 is going to be a rememberable, memorable kind of a batch. A batch which ends the semester where there's no certainty about the exam. You won't know when your exams will be and when your graduation will be. And this is one batch in the century which will not be accepting the certificates from the vice chancellor or other people. Everything will happen across Zoom and things like that. And I'm already seeing a lot of varsity functions. A lot of exams be getting called off and things like that. And the job market is absolutely in ruts, and a lot of pink slips have been given in a lot of companies, and the industry is not doing well and all that. So if you want to keep listing the difficulties what 2020 is facing applicable to batch 2020. In fact, I'm in touch with a lot of other colleges. There are a lot of pre-COVID days. A lot of companies went for universities and colleges, and they were offered the so-called appointment letters, selection letters, and all that. So now, one by one, most of the companies are disowning it or they're postponing it, and the companies are not sure about it. So, if you take all those things, it is the list of the woes are really big. But in the meantime, for me, the most interesting batch of the century is batch 2020, because the one which blooms in fire will not fade in sun. For the benefit of all those 8th semester students, I want to repeat this. Maybe every morning when you get up, probably you can rephrase this again and again. The flower which the blooms in fire will not fade in sun. Meaning anybody's journey, there's a choice. When you really start your journey, do you want all the pleasantries across, or when you end your journey, whether all the good things should happen to you So generally it is, for me and you, there's a big connect. I came out of SIT Tumkur in 1982, and we used to do this 10 semesters or 5 years engineering, and things were damn good then. Very few number of engineering colleges and a lot of job opportunities. But then I'm supposed to retire in this financial year, officially. I'm touching 60. But then look at the kind of ruckus happening, when I'm supposed to have a very peaceful retirement and maybe like a consultant, going for a few seminars and webinars and things like that. But then my whole retirement plan is postponed by another 5 years. But you're lucky. The beginning of the beginning is quite tough and challenging, and you'll learn a lot. What I have not learned in the last 38 years of my experience, you'll be learning in this 1 year itself. So that's the biggest the benefit for you all. So do not curse 2020, appreciate 2020. Now the whole title of today's program is Challenges into Opportunities. If you see the world history, all the greatest of the greatest things have happened because of crisis. I'm just reminding few of you. Most of you have studied all these things in your college and things like that, schools. But then, the emergence of Japan post 1945, after the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombing, look at the way Japan is today. And any country you walk in, the technology, whether it is automobiles or telephone systems or banking, it is Japanese. It is Japanese. It all happened just because of the kind of crisis what Japan as a country went through in 1945 because of the American bombing, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And now look at South Korea. In 1953 war, the Korea became North Korea and South Korea, and they almost lost 50 lakhs people, 5 million people. and look where South Korea is now. I don't think there can be any home within India which is not having LG televisions or Samsung fridge, or I don't think, you know, most of us use their smartphones and things like that. Hyundai cars, such a small country. It is slightly bigger than Kerala as a state in terms of geographical coverage. But look at the kind of brands what they have produced. Kia Motors, Hyundai Motors, or you know, the kind of shipbuilding what they do in Korea, or the kind of technology in the medical science what they have. It's all happened because of after 1953, the war. And Russia sent a person to space within 14 years of losing 16.8 million people. I'm talking about 1.6 crore people in World War. And Germany has emerged as a strong engineering economy. I don't think being most of your mechanical engineers and engineering students, you know about BMWs and Mercedes-Benz and Audis and the kind of CNC machines what we get from Germany. The whole lot of technology thing took place after World War II. Or you know, take this small Chutu nation like Israel. Israel is not even half of Kerala in size. But then look at the kind of technology what they have. They had continuous bombardment from the 7 neighborhood nations. Right? It can be Syria, it can be Palestine, it can be all the Arabic nations were like up against Israel. But today, for any kind of precision farming, security technologies, research, including COVID research, the whole lot of world looks towards Israel. Any global MNC companies, research hub is always in Tel Aviv, that is in Israel. So the history gives us the data that challenges are always into big time opportunities. So India is also having this kind of a challenge in front of us. If you think it is difficult, then it's difficult. But then if you think it's a challenge and there is something in the making, then it is all about opportunities. And batch 2020 is for that. So we need, what we need is a new attitude and a newer approach line. So don't count all the curses, count all the blessings. So then in that good note, we'll start off. How blessed the young men who have to struggle for a foundation in the beginning itself, like meaning if a building has to really grow taller, the whole thing is about how deep we go, how much you struggle when you are putting the foundation up, like. So your 2020 is a huge learning for you, like, but then that learning will really help you in your next 40 years of career. You can do a wonderful life out of that, like particularly those of you are going to be entrepreneurs, all right? And you will have various case studies, small to big companies. And generally the civilization learns not from good things. So civilization always learns from bad things, worst possible things, crises and things like that. So a crisis provides the opportunity for us to do the things that you could not do before. And in fact, I'll be explaining with a lot of small cases, like how every household, how every person, how every company, how every small little hotel has changed because of the crisis, the so-called COVID. And one small little example here. This is when the COVID started off sometimes in November, they say in China, but then officially it was known to the world only by February. And in India, the whole lot of the things took place in the month of March, somewhere by 8th or 7th of March. And in Karnataka, to be specific, it was on 7th or 8th of March when the first death took place in a place called Kalburgi, and then later on in Bangalore. So now it's just about matter of around 2 to 2.5 months of a time. That's it. Like, we just completed April, and then it is May and June. Of course, 3 months we have completed. Like, so now there's a small little things in set of information for all of us. You have this. If you have to attend to the patients, or if somebody is suffering, or for all the medical fraternities, if you have to work in or in any hospitals, or even for us also, you have this things called medical PPE kit. It's all about your surgical masks. It's about all your body coverall, the components what is shown here, like foot cap, the shoe legging, the leggings, apron, and whole lot of things. All these products, 1 or 2 companies were manufacturing in India, but majority of the things were coming from China, Taiwan, Korea, and then Turkey and other countries and all that. And there's most of you would not have heard this word called PPE, personal protective equipment, like, or for the first time, most of you came to know about a mask called N95. N95, a mask which is generally costing around 30 to 35 rupees in the market, it went up to 330 rupees. And to check somebody's contactless thermometer, it was available for about, it was scarce, and people have paid something like 11,000 rupees for a thermometer. And there was a story like in the month of April and in the month of March and all that, like. And a regular thermometer's cost is around 2,000 rupees. But then look at the things, what has happened in the Indian textile industry. Almost all the textile manufacturers who are stitching jeans pant and t-shirts, pant, any kind of a thing, small to big, right, from small two tailors kind of a company to major companies like Levi's, Raymond's, Arvind, name the kind of companies. In around 45 days, you will see about 900 plus number of manufacturers coming up and manufacturing all these items, including N95 masks within India. Meaning in around 2 months of a time, all this small to big, mostly smaller companies, I'm talking about smaller tailoring shops and all that, 10,000 crores rupees worth of things are manufactured within India, and India became self-reliant in by sometimes by May end, complete by May end. Like, I mean, in June we have surplus things. Now suddenly you will find all this, 3-layered masks available for 35 rupees. The normal cotton masks available for 2 rupees, 3 rupees, and all that. And the thermometers available for, including infrared contactless thermometers, are manufactured by a few companies in Mumbai and in Gurgaon and all that. The rate is around 1,800 rupees. So suddenly, in around 2.5 months of a time, we became world's second largest manufacturer. Like, and now there is a huge demand from all these manufacturers. Like, look, we have so much of a product with us, and technology, and the quality is absolutely good, and all the international approvals, national approvals, everything is there. Allow us to export, because the Modi government said till we are self-sufficient, till we are self-reliant, you cannot export, because thinking that for a large population like 130 crores, we have to have enough things with us, like all our paramedics, frontline medical workers should not have any shortage of the problem, this kind of PPE kits. So, but then now we have become second largest manufacturer, and we have surplus. And then this month, Indian government may permit all the people who are manufacturing this, including our company, to export. And then we can be the second largest manufacturer to the whole world. Look at the kind of opportunities, like from a crisis, look at the kind of possibilities. Suddenly India came to know that all these kind of products, it's just not that only China should manufacture and export to the whole lot of world. And then there's a huge acceptance in the world, meaning there is a strong anti-China sentiments across the globe, and that feel-good factor about the Indians. And because we did extremely well, because that HUQ tablet for the anti-malarial, antiviral tablet is applied to the whole lot of globe out there. Like, every country is having our tablets, and India did a very responsible job. So this is the kind of opportunity what COVID brought to us. Like, many people who were only manufacturing t-shirts and pants and all that, they're all into these kind of products now. So, and big time opportunity, like, so this is going to be a big time industry for us in the future, and thanks to COVID. Hello? I'm sorry, sorry, let me go forward. And so now, I'm just taking a simple case like our company, like, one of our companies by name Resgardo Industries Private Limited. And in that, we have a small, tiny tailoring shop with about 15 tailors, but then we call it as technical textiles. We manufacture this kind of fireman suit, the upper, bottom, it's a 4-layered suit. If any firefighter, for an interior firefighting, he has to get into the building and fight the fire, there'll be a lot of smoke and a lot of temperature. At times it can be as high as 700 degrees Celsius. And you'll find even the ceiling or, the aluminum frames melting and all that. So if you have to enable anybody to get into the interior firefighting, you have to have a fireman suit. We used to stitch only this. And now suddenly we were out of job and sitting at home, all my tailors, everybody. So then we thought of, why not we stitch this kind of the masks. And then within around a week's time, we got the design of it, and there is one a melt blown sheet in the center. We got the whole lot of things tested in Citra, Coimbatore and all that, got the things tested, test reports, and we manufacture almost about 2,000 numbers a day now. And we're supplying it to most of the corporates like. So a crisis really is not a crisis. It's your attitude to it through which you see that like it will throw a lot of opportunities in front of us. Like that's the beauty of any crisis. And in this meantime, we didn't stop at manufacturing only stitching only the face masks. You know, we are all mechanical guys, and we have all those sheet metal fabrication equipment, the bending machines, welding machines, the laser cutting machines and all that. And within no time, we could, in around 10 days time, my boys and girls could come out with the designs for the dispensers. You know, you pedal it and you find the sanitizer coming out in the top, both in stainless steel and mild steel. Then we made on UV cabinets. You know, there are a lot of stuff like, for instance, PPE things, wallet, mobile phones, or your other personal car keychains, your spectacles, these kind of things you cannot sanitize, and you can just keep it in a box, and there are UV lamps there, and 10 minutes you keep it there. There's an automatic timer there, and it gets sanitized completely. Like, you know, it's as low as around 10,000 rupees. You know, these are all the new business lines. Suddenly we came to know because thanks to the COVID, thanks for a crisis. So now it is going to be an additional product line for us. And that's what crisis is all about. Now the whole idea is about something big which happened in our company. You know, we have a product by name evacuation chairs. For instance, in all the buildings, you will put a signboard. You'll see a signboard which says, "In case of fire, do not use the lift." That means, if there's a fire accident in a tall building, the first standard operating procedure is you put the power off, and the lift gets automatically grounded, or it can get stuck. So that means all the able-bodied people can use the staircase and come down. But if there are differently able people, mobility impaired people, if there are pregnant women, now how do they come out of that? So we manufacture from last about 4 to 5 years a chair by name evacuation chair, which moves on the floor, and with the gliding mechanism, you can, with somebody's assistance, you can glide through the staircase also. This is a product which we've been manufacturing from long. But then likewise, there are a lot of other products. So now suddenly this lockdown got imposed on all of us, and all our people ran helter-skelter. And we operate from Bangalore, and our factory is in Haravalli area. It's about 1 hour journey from Bangalore city. And we have had a lot of marketing guys and a lot of people we used to call them as business development executives. They used to sit in the office, they call up various prospects, clients, and then they fix appointments. And you must refer the first column of the PPT. It says pre-COVID. So meaning if I am XYZ, the business development executive for the particular product, maybe a tall hospital might require the product, a tall software park might require the product, a tall shopping complex, in any tall building, any residential apartment will require this product. So our earlier approach was to call the customers and explain the product on the phone. And then if they say, I like the idea, then we fix an appointment. Then there's a separate set of boys, the marketing boys in the field. They will go with the product. You will find they put a huge evacuation chair in a car, and there's a good driver there. And we travel to the particular place in Whitefield, Electronic City, any software company. Then we give the demonstration. And if they like the particular product, we used to go for the commercial follow-up. And at times we get the order, at times we do not get the order. But this is something all the people who want to start something, please go through this whole lot of flow of events very carefully, because this will help you a lot in future when you really come out with your own product. How in a much simpler way you can reach your product to the end customer, who can be in any corner of the country, who can be in any corner of the world. So we used to call, fix the appointment, then take the product, demonstrate, and go for the commercial follow-ups. Like meaning that means we had two teams. One is business development executives, who's the inside sales team, who will figure out the data from the internet, call up the customer, fix the appointment, and the front end team which will go for the so-called demonstration and do the follow-ups. This was going on from last about 3 to 4 years and 4 to 5 years. And around 70 of us will do this particular job. Now, suddenly when this lockdown took place, most of these are youngsters and most of them are females. The back-end business development executives, inside sales guys. Now all these service apartments, all these PGs, everything got closed in Bangalore. And they took whatever bus, train available, they all ran back to their hometowns and all that like. So now for 15 days, 30 days over, and lockdown is continuing, and Modi's 3-4 times speech happened, and initially we had a candle in the evening, and then we all took our plate, spoon, everything, went to the balcony and started doing all those ting 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 kind of things and all that like. But then nothing is happening in our business like. We thought it is for a few days and all that like. Now this is continuing now, and now what do we do now? We are all stuck. So suddenly we change the whole lot of tack of it like. Nowadays what we do is we call the sitting at home only. The whole idea of this work from home came in. Whichever girls stuck in Gadag, Bijapur, and some of them are in Patna, some of them are in Calcutta, some of them are in a place called Raipur, some of them are in Mangalore, some of them are in Udupi. We all made arrangement for them to have a laptop and a headphone and a nice dongle. That was all like. So they started sitting at home and calling all those prospects and all that, and they started fixing the appointments. And in our office, only 2 of us came in, and we made a studio kind of an arrangement. You can see the third picture there. It's a studio wherein same steps we recreated using some wooden tables and steps and all that like. So now the job is the whole lot of demo is shown through studio demonstration like. And now in the olden days, we used to fix the appointment and one demo will happen in one customer place. So now what's happening is weekly we run 2-3 batches where for every demonstration, 30 to 40 number of customers join. Some are from Lucknow, some are from Delhi, some are from Calcutta. They join up and they go through this particular webinar. We call it as studio demonstration. And if they like the particular product line, and then we go for the commercial follow-up. Now look what this crisis has done. This has increased our productivity by 400%. So every crisis brings in opportunities. The same Zoom meeting, same webinars, same facilities, same AirMate, same WebEx, everything was available in the past also. But its utility came to our company only because of this chotu invisible corona. So this is the sequence I'm explaining about the pre-COVID and post-COVID kind of a thing. All the boys and girls are working now. Now the demonstrations will not happen in the client place, it will be happening in the studio. Now our whole idea of getting the vehicle, going to company, so much of petrol, so much of travel, so much of time waste, everything got eliminated in one single idea of this so-called webinars or studio demonstrations like. So this is how in the olden days when you used to fix the appointment, the front-end marketing guy used to go to the particular building and he used to show the demonstration. Now this is the couple of pictures. You'll find the front-end marketing guy with a tie going to the particular company and getting their decision takers and demonstrating the evacuation chairs, and for you to have an idea. So now this is how it is happening. Now it's in the studio, and we just purchase some 10 to 15,000 rupees of worth of some lighting systems and then small little camera, and it's all makeshift kind of a thing like, and whatever little office, one of the training room got converted and everything is ready, and the cost per demo came down to less than 100 rupees. We used to spend around 2,000 rupees per demo earlier, like meaning if an appointment is fixed, a Tata Sumo vehicle and a driver and the vehicle, and the Bangalore traffic, it used to take around average 1.5 to 2 hours to reach out, Whitefield or Electronic City, and to come back and all that like. So it's all about the challenges into opportunities like. So you should really welcome crisis, welcome challenges. And in Kannada, there's a beautiful say, Noduva drishti badaladare, Kanuva drishya badalagabodu. I'm so sorry for the people from other areas who cannot get this Kannada word, but then it has got such a depth in that. Noduva drishti badaladare, Noduva, the eyes in which you see, if you can change that, the vision, the whole view will get changed. The whole idea is that like. So there is no point in me grinning, whining about all these problems, what's happening around, and we have a lot of these kind of opportunities like. So many companies are following this kind of things today, and this whether when one day we will get the vaccine and one day will be normal, but then all these things learned in this will make any company very cost effective and its productivity, everything. So this is how that whole studio kind of a thing is. What we used to do earlier, company to company, taking the whole lot of products and showing everything. Not only for this particular product, we have such 17 such products. This is like, for instance, we used to, for somebody is unconscious and in a high-rise building, and you cannot download him through the lift. So you need a foldable stretcher with an oxygen support system. And earlier we used to demonstrate this product in the company buildings. Now everything is done in the studio. So this is the beauty of COVID. We must appreciate the kind of things. All the products, every kind of a demo can be done through the studio. So now for all those budding entrepreneurs, who are just batch of 2020, your product can be manufactured somewhere in Kapurthala or Ludhiana, but through this kind of demonstrations, you can reach it to Canada, to America, to Japan, to Korea, to anywhere like. You don't have to come to a metro and start your factory. You don't have to have an office in Gurgaon. You don't have to your office in Noida. You can be somewhere in Pataliputra, somewhere near Patna, in the comfort of your district, and in the comfort of your home, maybe taking care of your parents, and in the meantime, nurturing your dream. So this is COVID is one opportunity, which is decentralizing a whole lot of things. People need not migrate in future, if people understand this. In the olden days, if I'm born somewhere in Bangalore for a job, I come to Bangalore. If I'm born somewhere in Tamil Nadu for a job, I go to Hyderabad, to the metros. So these kind of migrations, whole lot of things can be reversed by only adopting to these kind of technologies and all that. So in the work from home thing, in the olden days, a lot of transportation in Bangalore at an average, a software engineer used to travel 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening. And now all the companies, all the software companies are working from home. And suddenly their expenditure, the fixed overheads have come down by 30%. Transporting thousands of people, dropping them and then picking them up, and then rental, electricity, housekeeping, nothing is required now. Like in fact, all the software companies, their productivity levels are the same now, but their expenditures have come down by 30%. Now that will reflect, and we can become a bit more cost effective. And in the international arena, when we fight for orders, and we can be a little more cheaper, a little more cost effective. These are all the take homes because of the kind of challenge what Corona has given to us. Now, in the olden days, we used to have these kind of offices. One office in Bangalore, Chennai, Coimbatore, Hyderabad, Visakhapatnam, Mumbai, Pune, and Gurugram. And there are so many other 17 states. We never had offices in Lucknow, or in Assam, or in Rajasthan, Jaipur, or in Madhya Pradesh, Indore, and all that. Now, because of this work from home kind of a thing, because of the studio demonstrations and all that, we are able to reach out to the whole lot of nation, and a huge attempt in terms of reaching to the global market. So we made a separate team now, and many of them are giving these kind of product demonstrations for the different continents, like in American countries, South American countries, African countries, European countries. And I never knew that there are this many number of countries. Though I've been working from last about 38 number of years, I never had this idea of reaching out to somebody in Algeria, somebody in Libya, somebody in France, somebody in England. It's all happened because of the COVID kind of a thing. Like today, we have some girls and who give this kind of demonstrations we have set 3 time zones. Some of them take up the demonstrations in the late nights, and some of them take up the demonstration in the early morning hours. And some of them for the Indian market, we do it in the daytime and all that like. So some simple Corona made all the difference. Like it changed the whole lot of perception about marketing what we had. Like earlier we were very localized. Okay, we are good in Bangalore, we are good in Gurgaon, we are good in Chennai, we are good in Hyderabad and all that like. But this one small little thing. In fact, we are proposing to close down a few of our offices. They're not required now. We can just operate from one single place, and 80% of us can work from home, and only few people who have to come to the studio for demonstrations and all that like. So that's the beauty of things. This is a small little article. You must have seen or used the shampoos of Kevin Care. This came in the paper. It's a huge company. They make this shampoos. He's the first one who revolutionized shampoos. Shampoos used to come only in the bottles, and he made the sachets, small 1 rupee kind of for poor guys, for poor people, if they have to go to a shop and buy a shampoo which is costing 100 rupees, then he will not go for shampoo. He'll go for the so-called soap. But what he did is he made these shampoos available in 1 rupee packets. You must have seen it. Like now in every shop, every tiny village you go, you'll find series of them in that. But then what he has done in Chennai now is he says only the R&D and the production guys will come to the factory, and all the other departments need not have any office at all. And he says we have shut down our corporate office and closed all 4 branches. We see no need for it. We have called for bids and from tenants for 40,000 square feet of office. Only factories and R&D centers will have employees come in and work. This is happening in every other company. IBM has got 9 buildings back in Bangalore. In that, they say 50% of the buildings we are giving it back to the owners. Look at the kind of rental savings, electricity, all this band baja of people, housekeeping people, food court, people, transportation, whole lot of things and all that. So Indian software industry will be little more cost effective in the international arena just because of this work from home. In fact, that way, if you see, this corona virus is little kind. It came in a time where we have absolutely matured internet facilities and telephone facilities and all this, Zoom and WebEx and every kind of a thing. Had corona visited us around, say, 8 years back, 10 years back and all that, probably we wouldn't have done all these things. So that way, you have to give 1+ mark for corona for its kindness. And so that's all about the things. Now I'll be discussing about something for the beginners, the batch of 2020 who wants to start something and who are just looking for ideas or a flow of things out there. And I appreciate all those people who want to start something and all that. The very idea of getting into an entrepreneurial journey is something very interesting and something what this country needs. I wish every other college makes an attempt. Maybe when you are producing some 500 number of engineers, at least if you can offer 50 of them as entrepreneurs who can go out and create economies, create jobs, it's a wonderful thing. So I must thank Gagan Singh for organizing this, and Dr. Lohit and Suresh, everybody, because you won't even know, even if one inspired soul in this batch, if he goes out somewhere and starts up a company and the company is going to have 100 number of people, it's something big for this nation. So it's very simple. It is not that entrepreneurs are by birth or only the business families can do that and things like that. I am basically, my father is a simple farmer, and we have this coconut farms and this paddy fields and things like that. We are the first generation graduates, and we came to the cities for the first time, and we studied in local languages like Kannada medium, and then we learned English only after joining SIT Tumkur, because even my PUC was in Kannada. Then we worked for some time, but then somewhere, and plus I'm a very average student. In fact, Dr. Suresh must have referred my marks card in SIT. I had few backlogs in 7th semester, 3rd semester maths. I took 3 attempts and things like that. I'm a less than average student, hardworking, but then not all that great in maths, physics, chemistry and all that. An average student, you could say, but hardworking and a lot of discipline and that burning desire to do something, and that helplessness, because being from a very poor family, you have nothing to lean back. So the very thing is, it is not your marks card, percentage of marks makes good entrepreneurs. It is the background of you, what is that kind of burning desire, and what is the background of that burning desire to become an entrepreneur you have. It's basically, if you are from a very comfortable family, everything is taken care and all that, it will take a little longer time to understand this. But then if you're from a family where there's shortage of infrastructure, shortage of money, and you'll become a more successful entrepreneur, because you'll take always the right decisions and all that. You'll really work hard. So it's anybody can become an entrepreneur. In fact, if you study the whole lot of entrepreneur journeys of many of the people, most of them are not even graduates. So it's all about having that inquisite thing. So the very idea that you are participating in this particular program, proves the fact that you have a burning desire to do something extraordinary, like, and then we are here to support all those things because India needs a new breed of people out there for the batch of 2020 to make India better than China from the point of manufacturing. So it's all about when you move around, you get to know, like, what is the requirements, like we call it as from the design thinking, we call it as understanding the requirements, and then have a very observant kind of an eye. Always, in Kannada, we always say, Kannare Kandaru Parambarisi Nodu. Have a look, but then have a relook into that, like, so always you will find the invisible things in that, like, so that kind of an observation, and then connecting the dots and unearthing the blind spots. For instance, it's very simple, like it's not that like you take a pen and take a paper and sit for an idea. When you move around, somewhere it ticks. If you really sit for an idea, it doesn't take place. You have to really move around, and when you're moving around, anytime it can happen. Like, you'll get an idea that, oh, this is something. That means you have understood the requirements of that particular thing, and then you're deep in observation, and you started connecting the dots and unearthing the blind spots. It is like, somebody in the olden days, the guy who innovated lift, he was only seeing the cars plying in the road. Okay, that means it's horizontal movement. Then maybe, one fellow thought that why is it only horizontal movement, like why not vertical movement also? Then came the world-class lifts of today. All right, I think his name is Otis or somebody from US. I forgot the name. Like, so it's a simple thinking. That's where it comes in. Like, now, for instance, when I used to move around, in all the buildings, I used to see the signboard by name: in case of fire, do not use the lift. Fine, all the able-bodied people can come out of the building, like, but what if a pregnant woman or an old man or somebody differently able people getting stuck over there? Like, then the whole idea of this, can we manufacture a chair, a wheelchair which can move also on the steps, came up. Now we have different versions for hospitals, apartments, and then for young babies. In fact, last year we manufactured, we are manufacturing one more evacuation chair. This is basically for hospitals where I'm talking about the gynae department where the babies are delivered. Because in one chair, you can move 6 small babies. Imagine in a hospital where it's meant for deliveries, if there is a gynae hospital, if the fire accident occurs, now how do you, one or two nurses, how they can carry 30, 40 children, babies and come out of the building? Like, so one idea multiplies and gets into a lot of other ideas. So, per se, in all the buildings, you'll find this fire alarm system, public address system, and all that. I used to go for these drills, all the companies, in fact, for about 20 years plus, I used to conduct evacuation drills, raise the alarm in the building, and get the whole lot of out of the building, and get to know how many people are coming out of the building, how much of a time they take, what's the kind of bottleneck, and all that. Every building has to do this at least twice in a year. Like, so I used to move around to all the tall buildings. But 10% of the cases I used to see, the building is ready to go for a drill. It's an informed drill. And we go and raise the alarm, that wah, 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 alarm kind of a thing. And the alarm fails. And the whole drill is to go off. Like, and public at the system, they're all mechanical electronic systems. And it fails. So then the idea came like megaphone. Like, now we manufacture and market a product, which is, the third image, megaphone, wherein you put the switch on, you can raise the alarm. And now these are basically handled by security guards, and they can't make it an announcement. Like, so you have a pre-recorded thing in that, like, first 10 seconds the alarm will come, next 10 seconds the announcement will come: your attention please, there's a fire emergency in the building, kindly stop your job, do not worry about your personal belongings, do not use the lift, use only the staircase and come out of the building. Or somebody qualified, somebody who can speak is picking it up, and there's a microphone, you can make special arrangements also. In the top you can see a slot, because a lot of BPO companies work in the night hours. What if the current also goes off, if you have to guide the people? So we have provided a lighting in that, like emergency light, plus a microphone, plus a pre-recorded fire alarm, and announcements of different pattern. For an earthquake, it's different, or for fire, it is different, for bomb threat call, it is different, for a pandemic outbreak, it is different, any kind of a thing. So it's one of the 4-in-1 kind of a concept. First time in the world, somebody from SIT Tumkur is manufacturing it, and it's one of our patented product, and it has got a huge demand in the international market. Thanks to all the the technicians, professors, lecturers, who have taught me my engineering in my SIT. Like that's why all you guys have to be always be indebted to the lecturers, professors, and your head of the departments, and those small technicians in the smithy shop or in the electrical workshop and a whole lot of things. They're all the unsung heroes of our life. Always be in touch with that, and this is something huge. And always acknowledge that, we are just not made on our own. We are just made by the efforts of a lot of other people. It's our parents, it's our cousins, it's our brothers, sisters, and more than that, it is Acharya Devo Bhava. Have a huge connect with your teachers. Yeah. So there's all this Zoom, AirMeet, WebEx, Microsoft, Team, everything was there. But then, but suddenly people unearth the utility value of it, and everything. Today, weddings are happening across AirMeets, WebEx. Today, engagement ceremonies are happening across Microsoft things and all that So it's all at what meagle, 100 rupees kind of cost and all that kind of a thing. So that's what. So from the point of crisis, it's something like this. Bad companies are destroyed by crisis. Good companies survive them. Great companies are improved by them. So any company today is not complaining about that. They're finding ways and means. For me as a company, having managed this about 4 companies for about 38 years, now I see a huge opportunity to re-engineer the whole lot of company to make it very lean and very simple, very cost effective, and need not be only for the Indian market and all that. Need not be only for the Gulf market. Gulf market we used to go because there are a lot of Indians there. But then now suddenly I got the fact that it may be in, for instance, other day we had a meeting in a Zoom meeting in a place called Chile, that is in Chile. I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's in South America. Venezuela and all that. People are interested to buy our products and all that. All these things happened because of the COVID crisis. So it doesn't matter whether this is the worst time to be alive or the best, whether you are in a good job market or a bad one, or that obstacle you are facing is intimidating or burdensome. What matters right now is right now. So it is 2020, you have to accept the way it is, and you have to look towards the positive side of it, the kind of crisis. All right, now this is for all you guys who have got that kind of a appetite to do something and go forward life. This opportunity was not there around 10 years back, 5 years back. This opportunity will not be there after 5 years also. This is only for the batch 2020. This Atma Nirbhar Bharat, what Modi is talking about, or this Make in India kind of a thing, has got a huge emotional appeal. When the head speaks, it's all about intelligence. But when the heart speaks, it is what the emotional part of it and all that So there's so many kind of announcements coming from the government to make most of the products what we import from other countries back in India, but in specific from China. If I am to be a batch of 2020, if I'm coming out of SIT Tumkur and if I want to do something, maybe maybe I'm coming from a small place like say Davangere or Belgaum or maybe Patna or anywhere all I will do is I will figure out from the net what are the kind of products coming from China. There are about 700 plus minus varieties of products in electronics, in electrical products, mechanical products, textiles, medicines. Name the kind of things are coming from China, because India was having this kind of trading mindset. We are good on that, buy from A and give it to C and make some money out of it. We were never into that hardcore manufacturing, because it takes around 2 years of a time to stabilize a factory, to set up the factory, to do the plant engineering, to do the research and to do the prototype and then to market it and things like that. And all of us were pretty busy in service industry, like software, finance, banking and things like that. But then this is the call for Make in India, manufacturing in India. All right. So now the big thing is about the crisis, what Corona is giving to 2020. We ourselves are a country of 130 crores population. Look at the kind of market, 28 states, 3 union territories, and look at the kind of coverage from Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari. Look at the kind of market what we have in front of us. We are 130 crores out of 778 crores. That means more than 15% of the market is in India by itself. If you are talking about the global market, So now it doesn't matter whether you have the factory in Tumkur or the factories in Assam or anywhere. Like in around 72 hours, you can reach your product anywhere in the globe. So, and you don't need any offices across. You can work from home, you can work from a small little village, anywhere. The connectivity is so very robust today, and the work is so very easier today. Like you don't have to get stuck in Bangalore traffic or in Gurgaon traffic or Kolkata traffic and all that. You can be anywhere. Like the globe is your market. Look at the kind of platforms available today: Flipkart, Amazon, Alibaba, and hundreds of such platforms which will reach your product from anywhere to anywhere kind of a thing. And there is all these opportunities in the last around 20 years were taken over by China. Hence, China becomes very arrogant because the kind of money they made in the last around 20 years, like they can build roads across the globe, they can finance any other country and pocket them. That's the kind of a work what China has done. Like, but now people have realized making one place, China, for instance, why American companies, Korean companies, Japanese companies want to shift their base from China to India, China to Vietnam, China to Bangkok is for this reason. Like, so we will have so much of opportunities, and our central and state governments have announced a lot of schemes. This is just for you to know the kind of global market what we have. You don't have to have any office in African countries. Like it's all your Webex or your Reliance Jio. In about 500 rupees of monthly investment, you can reach out to all these things. All you have to have is one laptop and dongle. That's it. Like. And this is your American continent. Look at how big it is. I think most of us don't even know that there are countries like Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay, Paraguay, Venezuela, Cuba, Mexico. And this is your, I never knew there is one more continent named Antarctica. I don't know what the kind of product we can sell there. It's a different thing. But then look at the Asian market, including Middle East, Russia, Mongolia, all the southeastern countries like Thailand, Vietnam, Bangkok, and of course the Australian continent. And then comes the European continent and the Indian manufacturing, the quality, for instance, in the PPE market, when China started manufacturing, and China used to manufacture a lot of that, and whole lot of products sent to across the globe got rejected because they do not have belief in quality. They work on quantity, mass production, like because so many laborers are available and all that, like, and it's huge in manufacturing, but then the quality is not there. Like, in fact, the PPE kits which were supplied by Chinese companies to the Indian, the government hospitals, 99% of them got rejected. But then what we exported from India to other countries, everything got accepted. Everything got accepted. Like that means we have an eye on quality and not just on quantity. But then now, of course, you have to work on quality, of course. Then quantity is also a big thing there, because particularly in European nations, American nations, and all that, they will be looking for high quality products. So there are a lot of opportunities in front of us. Let me remind you once again, all you have to do is go through the websites, figure out what are the kind of products which are coming from China to the Indian market. Like it is around $100+ billion rupees worth of products are coming from China to India. For China, after America, the second largest market is India. All right. The whole lot of products what they export to Europe, everything is consumed in India. Like India is one country and Europe is a block. That's what the Chinese thing is. In China, right from agarbatti, like we import even Ganeshas and every kind of a thing out there, like every kind of a thing. And it is not that like they make money in all those technology product. Like it is normal product. Like we used to manufacture fire extinguishers. We manufacture extinguishers, and its content, dry chemical powder, valve, everything used to come from China. In around 15 days, from last 15 days, we took a decision that from next month onwards, we will not even import a screw from China. For instance, there's a company called Prestige. I'm talking about cookers. Its chairman gave an interesting statement in the last 1 week. He says, I used to get 30% of my component from China, but September end is the deadline given to my boys and girls not to get a single piece from China and all. This is happening in every other company. So figure out which is the product line is of interest to you, which is generally come from China or Taiwan, and then go with that. Like, and India is the market, and anywhere, and I don't have that idea that I should have a huge manufacturing setup back in Bangalore or, capital cities and all that. Like it can be anywhere, like, because our road connectivity and communication connectivity is just, the whole globe has become a single village. And never start off with an idea that it is meant for only for Bangalore market or only for Indian market, South Indian market and all that. Like if the quality is good across the globe, you will find a demand for that. Like so, that's all about the communication from my end. Challenges into opportunities, and it just matter of another 5 years. Like India will be the manufacturing hub of the entire world by itself. Like every Indian is fired off to this because Chinese have played with our emotional feels. Now like from 2 days back, how the government banned all your TikToks, 59 different apps and things like that. So now in many of the companies, it's an unwritten law that we will not import any component from China. If any young boy, any girl wants to manufacture any kind of a thing, in many of the Indian software companies are paying 10% premium. If the product is coming from, if the pen is coming from China, and if the same pen is given by, similar kind of pen is given by an Indian student, Indian guy, they pay 10% extra for that, like premium. Because and Jagdish Shettar, the industry minister of Karnataka, says, if you have any kind of a land, you just go and put your factory on, and then I will give you 3 years of a time to get all the other 17 approvals from Pollution Control Board to Electrical Control Board. And in the olden days, it used to take around 2 years for us to get all these approvals and start a factory. But Karnataka, then UP and Rajasthan, and it will happen in all the other states where they have given permission that you just begin your factory, do the construction activity, start the factory, and all the license can follow. Like take 3 years of a time. No government inspector or no local authority will come and question you and all that. Like, and a lot of money is available. This is the first time where I'm seeing schemes where for 5% bank interest, the least possible thing, Mudra Yojana, lot of finances are, banks are flushed with funds. It all, they are looking for young people like you to take loan and start something big. So with that, I wish you all the best, and I conclude and open to questions and answers. I think I have taken a little more than what Dr. Lohit has given. I hope you will excuse me for that. Gaganjit. All right. Yes.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful webinar on entrepreneurship. Obviously, like your experience of 33 years in entrepreneurship can be seen with this presentation. Beautifully done. It was very informative. So we'll go ahead with the Q&A session now. We have a huge list of questions. People are like, there are 29 questions we can see over here. We'll go ahead with the top liked questions first. How to choose, this is a question from Stebina. So she's asking how to choose up a right opportunity. What is the basic strategy?
Time being, I would say, time being, let's be very practical about it. Like a lot of people say, follow your heart, follow your passion and all that. Like, and if you can follow your dreams, follow your passion and all that, but then if it is commercially not viable, end of the day, you produce a product for your love, you like it, but then if there is no market demand for that, if the market is not paying for it, and at the end of the day, business is not charity, business is for profiting. So time being, the opportunity is what you have to keep your passion a little away, keep your love a little away. Look for those products which are coming from China now, because I'm talking about a bucket of 1,700 plus number of products. Like it can be in electronics, it can be a small component for a mobile thing, it can be a small component for a charger, it can be for an automobile thing, it can be for electric vehicles, it can be for solar systems. Name the kind of field, like, and you will find some liking in some there. And don't put your hand into some big time assemblies and all that. Small component kind of a thing. So figure out what is coming from outside, what is not being manufactured in India. Then you get to know the market for that line, and then check up like whether that particular product you want to manufacture. And then if China is marketing it to India, then other countries also buying it, like, so you'll have a huge market for that, like. And then in the meantime, if that product idea is good for you, and if you really like it, go behind that. Like it takes around 1 to 2 years to stabilize a particular product. Like, so time being, my advice to anybody whoever wants to start something, go behind the products which are coming from China, because that is where central government, state government, everybody. Now, for instance, we are making these evacuation chairs, escape smoke hood, EPDs and all that. We sent one letter to the Commerce Ministry that these products we are manufacturing and it's made in India, made in Harahalli, made in Karnataka. And then in 24 hours, from Nirmala Sitharaman's table, one mail comes, maybe somebody from her secretariat that if anybody else wants to import in future, they have to pay 15% more duty. If this little girl who asked this question, this boy who's asking this particular question, if he's pointing on a particular product and if he's ready with the particular product, all it takes is, the anti-dumping duty. Somebody else who was to import and market it, like he has to pay 15% more duty and all that. Like, so all this protection and encouragement, everything will happen. Like, so they're little safer bets going through that route and all that. Like import substitution, I say. All right. And Government of India under Nitin Gadkari's thing, they are making a separate website, the listing of all those products, which are generally coming from particularly from China. And in that, find out which is the particular product you really like it, like you want to give your heart and soul into that. Like that's where you'll get a lot of ideas. Yeah. And then from the point of technology space, which are all those products you're doing very well. If you're mechanical engineers, any component for electric vehicles, all those your IC engines, what you have learned in our mechanical workshop, it's all gone now. It's all going to be electric vehicles and all that. All your lithium-ion batteries and the technologies connected with that, like, and the solar thing. And then anything what oil and gas dependent, which move towards this one, like. So they're all the hot industries, like. But then there are a lot of other things like electronic components, a lot of things like. And kindly refer. And then MSME Ministry conducts a lot of webinars about different things, like in textile industry, then in mechanical engineering industries and all that, like. And be very attentive, like, and attend all those programs. You'll get an idea about, oh, this is one product I must do and all that. And then particularly if you can look for a product line where the raw material is available in your native place. Now, for instance, this is one young engineering student who manufactured the hand sanitizers from some plants in Madhya Pradesh. It's a huge hit now because that's her hometown and she knows where the things are available, like, and there is no chemical effect at all on that, like. So connect all these dots, you get to know, find out make a list of the ideas, what is that you really want to do, like, and in the meantime the opportunities, and if it is matching, probably you got the right idea in place, like. And then at times we fail, and my advice to all the people are that it's not that like one product idea you took off and then you succeed in that, like maybe after 6 months it may bomb. Enjoy that, like laugh at it, and then but then you learned a lot of experience out of it, like. So all the people who have taken up business and done something great, 6-7 times they must have failed, and it's a part and parcel of it, like. But then every time when we fail, we get a lot of experience of it, like, and you will succeed one day. Good it is. Anything else?
Right, and also like there are many questions as of now for you. We have seen 2020 there'll be engineers who will be passing out, and this next question is from Sujan. Is MBA degree really important for budding entrepreneurs to survive in this entrepreneurship field?
I won't say invest 2 years for MBA. All right. If you want to become an entrepreneur, all right. The more you study for particularly non-engineering subjects, MBAs and all that, then whenever you start any kind of a thing, you go by the process of it. You will do the computer research paper on that, you will do market study, then you will write that report, this report, what your MBA has taught to you. I hope there are no MBAs in the crowd. And you will invest about 1 year in terms of doing all those steps involved in developing a product, steps involved in evaluating a project and all that. But a true entrepreneur goes with this gut feel, the sixth sense of it, like somewhere inside it says, this product will succeed, this concept will work, because, that ultimately it's your sixth sense, ultimately your gut feel, that what makes a difference and all that. Maybe you may have to work for about 2 years, then in case you can take a break for and go for 1 year kind of an MBA, it makes more sense. Or there are a lot of online MBAs available now, and which you can do it in weekends and all that, because your next 2 years is so very important, like, because particularly 2020 and 2021, I do not want you to sit in the classrooms. Okay, there are a lot of people thinking that anyway 2020 is a gone year, 2021 is a gone year. So next 2 years let me be. But this is the time where you'll pick up opportunities like, because interest rate is in the least possible thing, land rate is in the least possible thing. For instance, salaries. For instance, if you want to employ an engineer, 1 year back you used to pay some 30,000 rupees. Now you pay some 12,000 rupees. I have taken a bunch of interns from somewhere from a place called Mantakkal. This is somewhere near Udupi. From Udupi, 30 kilometers it is. From an engineering college for a project of 1 year, just about 10,000 rupees per month. Like, meaning such brilliant student, they wouldn't have joined even for 30,000 rupees in the normal days. But now I'm talking about the feasibilities and all that. I had some 7-8 pending research projects, and which normally, if you have to spend about around 10 lakhs to develop that, like now I'm getting it done for about 3 to 4 lakhs rupees. Like. So these 2 years are very precious if you want to be really entrepreneurial. Like. And then all the bad players will go out of the market. Only the good ones, stable ones will be there. Like. So there will be a lot of opportunities, So MBA and, the point is, I did my diploma in my business management, but then online I did. Okay. I go for a lot of other, I went for a lot of other career courses like 10 years and all that. Like, but then now everything is available online. And I don't think the idea of classrooms will remain in future. Now, I don't know, in the technology space, when it comes to teaching also, the very idea of setting a college, buying 10 acres of land, putting buildings may not be there in the future. Everything will happen online in the evening. You can take your class using a small little smartphone and all that. Like, so you will get a lot of this kind of interesting diplomas online, like, and you'll have similar experiences and all that. I'm sorry if somebody has already decided to apply for MBA and all that, because when you directly go from the college to the MBA, the case studies what they explain there, you will not get that. You work for 2 years, then go and sit in the class, then you have a similar thing, and all your group discussions and whole lot of thing are not, you will not be able to participate unless you have at least about 2 years of work experience. So thank you and for the question, but sorry for the disappointment. Somebody wanted to go, but next 2 years is the opportunity years. I call it as opportunity years. Yeah.
So there's a question from Mr. Baswaraj. There are so many companies in India that are operating from different parts of the country. They're having their headquarters here. They're using our manpower, and there's a large margin in their business, which makes barrier for startups in attracting quality manpower for working indigenous projects. So how can we tackle this? So we have seen this, we have seen this among students also. They do look for brands, big brands, and maybe we are losing out a quality talent somewhere in those.
Yeah. No,
how do you see this?
Whenever I go for campus interviews, because we are a company who can't pay the kind of salary like what Infosys pays, Wipro pays, or what Shell Oil can pay and all that. Like, so then I speak to the placement officer. I say, give me the students who are in between 60 and 70% marks aggregate. Don't even put one single guy between 70 and above. 70 is my cutoff marks, because the point is there will be a lot of students who might have scored pretty high, and there may be rank holders and all that. If you see the history, the rank holders, the gold medalists, I always see this in a graduation ceremony, somebody going and with 8 gold medals and all that. They all have gone and worked for MNC companies in US, Europe, and all that. They've done a good life for themselves. But then the guys who really started off the factories, run some businesses, every kind of a thing, are these middle order batsmen. Those the thing like, so never compete with the MNC companies and take such brilliant hand. They don't do anything. They don't do anything. Go for this average grade of boys like me. All right. I'm talking about somebody who are affordable for the particular thing, and they do extraordinary jobs. It is your end of the day. It is your not the marks card, the percentage what makes the difference. Like, all right. Let me tell you a small story. You must have heard about Dr. Gururaj Karjigi. At least the guys who are from Karnataka and all the teachers and professors must be knowing about it. Like, so 2 years back, he was called to. It's a very interesting narration for you guys who are having a mindset that it is the marks and the 98% and above makes a difference. So he was called by the PUC board to address the best 100 students who came out of the PUC2, you know, the best cream of the best 100. And then out of curiosity, he said, can you give me the profile of that so that I can come prepared for the career guidance? And you could see that 99% of them are physics 100, chemistry 100, mathematics 100, chemistry 100, physics 100, mathematics 100 and all that. Like, he being a professor, he being a principal, he was zapped to see how can this many number of students score 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. Then he appreciated all the students, every kind of a thing. He said it was after finishing the exam, it was around 2 months of a gap, 2 months of a gap. Then next day in the narration, he brought the same question paper, what was given to them, and where they have scored 100, 100 and all that. And without any kind of an announcement, he gave the same question paper back to them and gave the same time factor to finish it. Like, the average score was 58%. All right. You in the YouTube, you will find a small little narration from Dr. Gururaj Garsavi person. 58% they scored. Meaning 2 months back, they scored 100, 100. It was all bookish, by heart kind of a thing. But in the shop floor, in the R&D, it is not that brain what makes the difference. It's your other common sense, presence of mind, and other things and all that makes the difference. So never hire, let them be hired by all the top class software companies and all that. You hire somebody like me who are very passionate. And when you're hiring people, look for that energy and look for that being focused. Not that kind of a guy who comes there and everything, 100. But then if you say, hello, how are you? He will take some 2 minutes every time. Slowly. When you're dealing with people, look for that energy thing like that. What makes the difference? Like, those smiley faces and things like that. Like, I hope I'm not putting down all those 100 scorers and all that. End of the life, Narendra Modi is our prime minister. Is he a 100% thing? We had Manmohan Singh like 100% case. But have you in last 10 years, when Manmohan Singh was the prime minister, like, did you ever feel that there's a prime minister there? Right. But now every day, 8 o'clock in the middle of the night, if Narendra Modi says, Bhaiyo or Behno, the whole country follows. Even now, after 7th year of his prime ministership, even now, yesterday, for instance, 4 o'clock, he was supposed to speak to the nation, like, I left all my job and still I'm listening to that. First time I came to know that a prime minister can be like something like this. So it is not your academics, it is something else. And you must have that art of digging out that like. So what I do generally in companies, for any requirement, I ask them to work for about 10 days on trial basis. Then I study their body language, how they eat, how they walk, how they smile, how they talk, and a whole lot of things. That makes all the differences. Like, so never go by marks cards. I think it's a good news for other students who have not really done all that good in academics. Like, from any you take your Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook to Bill Gates or Azim Premji, they're all not all that high standard students like. But then I'm not discouraging I'm encouraging the people to get dropped out of the college. There is a joke always. From second, third semester they get dropped out and they say, look, I want to be an entrepreneur. And then, the parents ask them that, like, why do you want to become an entrepreneur? Look at Azim Premji, look at Bill Gates, look at Mark Zuckerberg. They're all dropouts. But you have to always tell them that, look, they're dropout from Harvard University and not from your unknown one engineering college and all that. Like, so if you're dropping out, also drop out from Harvard or Stanford and all that, not from other colleges. Thank you very much.
Right. So as we have a restricted time, we'll take 3 important questions. I'll just compile. There are 5 to 6 attendees, participants. They're asking about investments. Now, there's a fear of failure when you talk about startups, and the fear of failure is, you say, like Abhishek is asking to start a new business in this current situation. It is difficult to think about the investment. Please assist us on this investment.
If you have a good idea, develop a prototype of it. It doesn't require any money. For instance, if you want to make a small little bearing, or if you want to make a small little assembly, if you want to make a small little electronic charger, to develop the prototype, you don't require any big investments and all that. Like, that's what MBAs do. Like, they write a huge project report, then they say 10 crores the investment and all that. Like, You just go behind your a particular product and develop a prototype. If the prototype is good and your gut feeling says this is a commercially saleable idea, right from bank to private investors, there are a lot of P's, private investors like, India is a country now which is flushed with funds now. Maybe small amount like 1 crore to 100 crores. There are a lot of investors now, a lot of, for instance, I don't know, among yourself, if somebody comes out with a small little idea, which if I think that, look, this product will click one day, we incubate, we say, come to our factory and develop this thing for about 6 months, and then we'll pay some money and give us some 25% equity. Then from there you start off, and when it really becomes big, you give the money back to us, or we sell our share to somebody else and things like that. So to develop a prototype, all it needs is idea and energy. To get an idea, all it requires is that burning desire. Money is the last thing, and if money will follow you, don't go by money. If the idea is good, money banks. But one of my uncles always said the story. In a lake, in all the traditional Hindu families, you will find this Lakshmi always sitting on, that lotus flower. So maybe you saw a large lake over there and you saw this lotus flower there and you started swimming towards that. It will move away from you, all right, because its stem takes it away because of the waves out there. So if work on your idea, work on your prototype, money will follow you. You won't know from which side. The point is about, for all you guys, there's a thing called intent. The intent, if the intent of your project, intent of your entrepreneurship is for taking care of yourself, having a Ferrari car one day, having a lovely wife, and having a 3-bedroom house, a palatial bungalow, then it won't work. If the intent is doing something great to this country, if the intent is creating some 100 jobs, if the intent is to pay so much of a tax to the government, if the intent is that, then forget about that. Every other thing will follow. It is like blessing. You won't know where from which corner the help will come and all that. And be very honest about it, be very genuine about it, be very sincere about it. Money is not a problem at all now. You would have heard about a lot of this small entrepreneurs. I'll stay in a layout in Banegata Road. You must have, those of you who are using a share platform by name Zomato. He is it's valued at $1 billion, and he's a BIT student, Bangalore Institute of Technology, not from any IITs or anywhere. In around 10 years, the whole thing happened that way. And his capital was just 10,000 rupees. For that matter, even Infosys, it started off with just 10,000 rupees. So money is an excuse. A lot of people say, no, I have a good idea, but start your prototype, man. Start your project work on that, show to a lot of people, and somebody will tell you, and the banks are more than that. Today, there's a separate thing for startups from Narendra Modi government. Okay, 20 lakhs, 50 lakhs rupees without any kind of a guarantee. In 24 hours, you will get 50 lakhs rupees now from the central government scheme, and interest you have to pay after 3 years or so. Imagine. And the idea is, you don't have to set up the factory near Bangalore or near Delhi, near Gurgaon and all that. Always opt for smaller cities, where the rental is lesser, land value is less, manpower is abundantly available and all that. We should not have that idea. That is pre-COVID days. Oh, I have to start something, come to Bangalore. I have to come to something. Now, for instance, I am going from Bangalore to a place called Kanakpura, because Bangalore is a cluttered city. There's no quality of life here. Let's go to smaller places and good living also, quality living also, and connectivity, everything is great. Yeah.
Right. So let's move towards the incubation part of it, as we have it organized by SIT TBI. There's a question from Vikas. He's saying it would be interesting for the young engineers to hear about incubating and nurturing the startup culture and the potential ways for the guys to nurture and grow this culture into a big stage. We have seen there are many students or we'll see that there are many alumni. They'll be having good ideas, but they are still restricted to jobs, and maybe that culture is not there as of now, where they can actually get their innovative ideas into play. So how would you see this? How can we take it to a big stage?
it is all about like if there is a will, there is a way. Manasiddhara Margavide. For instance, if you're around Bangalore, anywhere, or if you want to move yourself with that idea to Bangalore for a day, in our factory, we have a huge R&D floor. And maybe it will take some time for me because of the COVID, I think the things got postponed. Otherwise, we will be having one. I'm just giving my example. My example is very small, but there are a lot of much bigger examples in the like Mahindra, Tatas, and any big company will like SAP Labs, Oracle. They all help the startups. All right. So in our factory, ours is basically for mechanical thing. If any little boy comes with an idea, we give all our machineries, floor, gear, everything for him to develop the product. We finance the raw materials, every kind of a thing, and he can have a number of coffee, tea, food, sweet, any kind of a thing, till it comes to a prototype level. Like then afterwards, then we sign up all those agreements and all that. He will not copy any of our products, and neither we can copy any of his ideas. Like it's a matter of trust. And once the product is ready, and the all is the working product is ready and all that, then he can go and set up his own factory and all that. So to develop the prototype, to test the product, to get the approval, if it takes around 6 months of a time and all that, he need not start a factory at all. Like, and then by another 6 months of a time, 1 year of a time, we'll be having one small thing called myfactory.com. Myfactory.com is a concept wherein we'll be having a large shed of around say 40,000 square feet thing, where if somebody two boys comes with a small little idea, they say, sir, can we occupy 1,000 square feet of an area? And then it is temporarily barricaded and given to them. And then we will be having one shed where all the machines are available, right? From welding machines, CNC machine, pipe bending machines, every other common machineries are available. Like, so they have to come and use that machine and do their thing in their table. There will be a common cafeteria, common food area and all that. Like, so we will be fixing a small little rental for that, meaning nothing he owns there. He comes there and uses that for about, like WeWork concept. This is very popular in China. China, how it became a big time manufacturing thing is like what Dr. Lohit has done there. Like for instance, if you go to Dr. Lohit's lab there, you have the office there. And if the boy wants to work on a particular product, he can go to any of the workshops and get it done within the campus itself, SIT. And anything outside to be also can be done like. So there are a lot of ways you have to try that, like meaning if you have patience and if you can forego your luxury of life for about 6 months at a time. But then most of us, we want money in the first month itself. We want our salary in the second month itself and all that. Like it is, all about utilizing all these things available. Like, and Infosys incubates a lot of projects. Big companies, for instance, Kennametal Vidya incubates a lot of projects and all that. Today, any engineering company, any software company, they want youngsters to start something and they sponsor it. Like, for instance, Sudhamurthy personally sponsors a lot of projects and all that. Like, so write a small little PPT about the project idea and things like that, and just keep in touch with there are a lot of webinars happening about this kind of startup kind of things and all that. Like, and if you're having any kind of mechanical engineering idea or electrical kind of an idea and all that, to get in touch with me. I'll be sharing my email ID and all that. Like, and if you're from Bangalore, always you can use the facilities what is available in our factories also, and we will also help you in terms of doing it and all that. Or if you want some small equity participations and all that, or if you want to share, do that. Like, we can also, and we can connect you to a lot of people also. All right. But end of the day, if you have an idea, support will come. Because the idea is great. Are you getting it right? So
Right. So I wish we could cover all these questions, but I'll try to provide all these questions to Dr. Lohit so that we can reach out to these participants with the answers later on. And as we are moving towards concluding this session, I would like to invite Dr. R. Suresh from SIT Alumni Association for vote of thanks.
Before that, sorry. If anybody is having very specific idea, particularly in the mechanical engineering lines and all that, maybe, if you want to have a chat with me, or if you want to come to Bangalore and discuss about that, we are all available. Like, and like me, there are quite a few seniors and all that. Get in touch with people and speak to elders always. Speak to elders. You will get some connect always. Like, so my mobile number is 98450-48646. So anybody, any point of a time, kindly call me. Like for me, the greatest pleasure is about, I am into age bracket of 60. So the kind of things I can do now onwards is very limited. But then if some other legs, some other eyes can do that, I'll be very happy to share. And like me, there are hundreds of other people, not hundreds of other people like. So beyond a point, we don't want to work for ourselves. Like if other people can take our experience and work on that. So kindly share my mobile number to anybody. Kindly
Sure.
explain, I can guide them a little to the extent possible. Like, thank you, Gaganji. All
right. Right.
Good afternoon to all of you. Really very much happy to hear the experience of Mr. Redappa. And very interesting thing is he gave wonderful examples where it can be approached. While expressing his views, he also told about his strengths and weaknesses. But finally, he told how to become an entrepreneur. It is only a desire where it can make a person to become an entrepreneur. Redappa can also give more support for all the viewers, those who are there today. If any person, 1, 2, or 3 persons who are able to take up today's speech, and if they come out with a good example or a product and all, really it will be helpful for us. SIT Alumni Association, SIT TBI, and WAVE organization, all will feel very happy for making use of this wonderful opportunity. Once again, we will invite Redappa for so many other different programs also for making this event very, very successful. And I take this opportunity to thank our Dr. Coordinator, Dr. C.P. Lohit, where he is also running a TBI. In this TBI, he can support any new ideas to be incubated, and further it can be converted into a commercial product. Until that, it can be supported. So the viewers who are interested can also contact Mr. Lohit regarding this project. And I thank Gaganjit and their organization, WAVE organization, for connecting all of us. And I hope that they are going to do this program continuously to support our ideas. It is not an idea of WAVE or TBI, it is an idea of our country, where our Prime Minister is coming forward and telling every day that come out with new ideas. We have to stand on our own legs. This is very important. I also thank our SIT Alumni Association, and being an alumni of our organization, I thank once again Jaishil Redappa for his wonderful program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Suresh. Thank you, Jaganjit. Thank you, Dr. Lohit.
Yes,
yes. Spending some time with you. Right. Kindly circulate my mobile number and email ID. Anybody can we can do connects.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Sir, with your permission, Dr. C.P. Lohit, I would like to give closing remarks before we conclude this session.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, need is the mother of invention, we used to say. But now, crisis is the mother of invention and innovation as well. So that we can see from Mr. Jaishil Redappa, who has innovated a lot of things and to solve the crisis. So crisis he has made into an opportunity. So this is a right topic which we have chosen. So Mr. Jaishil Redappa has rightly said 2020 batch is a very interesting batch. In the beginning, when we are discussing among the panelists, he was saying that same thing he has mentioned in the presentation as well. It is very interesting because opportunities are not available as such. Now the problem as an opportunity. We need to convert problem as an opportunity. This is the real challenge that any entrepreneur will have, how to convert the problems into opportunity, which Mr. Jaishil Redappa has rightly used at this point of time. So, and also it has redefined, the corona crisis has redefined the life itself. So everybody is thinking of making something out of this. So as Mr. Jaishil Redappa said, lean manufacturing, lean thinking, design thinking, which he has brought out. So which is very, very important at this point of time. So, and Mr. Jaishil Redappa, your journey itself is highly motivating for all of us. when he visited our TBI, he highly appreciated Siddhaganga TBI and the management, which has given a platform for all the students to work on their ideas. So once the students are there in the campus, it is like swimming in a swimming pool. Once they go out of the college, it is like swimming in the ocean kind of thing. So they can work on their ideas through our TBI. That is one opportunity all the students will have. It is not only for students, it is for the entire public community. Any people can make use of this TBI. So that is there. And at this point of time, I also appreciate Mr. Gaganjit of WAV, so WAVE organization, who has done a great job in connecting the alumni and others for this webinar. And I should say that this webinar is a huge success kind of thing, because most of the people have been motivated by Mr. Jaishil Adappa's thoughts towards the life or towards the entrepreneurship or startup, whatever. So I once again thank Mr. Gaganjit. And I also take this opportunity to thank Mr. Punit and Mr. Gurraj Banakar, incubation managers of our Siddhaganga TBI, who has put a lot of effort in making this event a grand success. So I once again wish all the participants, here the participants are the very important persons, because out of this webinar, if 3 or 4 guys becomes an entrepreneur, our job is done. So we are very much thankful for our Mr. Jaishil Adappa, who has motivated all of us. I once again thank all of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Lohit.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Suresh.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Punit.
you. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here. There's one announcement. You will be redirected to survey post this webinar. Please help us improve with your valuable feedback. We are signing off for today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.